Okay, good evening. I will be discussing with you the handout about our last handout, which was given last Monday to 5A and 5C. This is, of course, to be able to share the discussion with everyone, but in particular with 5B and 5D. So, again, we'll start with the home office and branch. Hopefully, the problem already shared with you by the other batchmates, of course with the solution and answers. So I'll be giving more on the reminders and the concept behind the solution. So first, you can see the T account of the investment in branch Ortigas, and after the beginning balance, which is 459,258, one of the three transactions on the debit side is about the 212,400, described as shipments to branch. Shipments to branch in this particular problem was not used as a debit or a credit, because of course we know that shipments to branch must be debited or must be credited at cost. But in this case, it was used only to describe one of the transactions under the investment in branch T account. So 212,400 is at billed price. Another is the cash forwarded amounting to 15,000, and it is about the home office effected a fund transfer to the branch. And last is about the operating expenses incurred by the home office. The home office allocated 2,880 as the share of branch Ortigas branch in the expenses incurred by the home office. Last is on the credit side, the 33,300, about collections of the home office from the customers of the branch. All the transactions under the T account, it seems that the home office is the origin of all the four transactions, so we assume that all the transactions under the T account are correct. So next are the given bullets. The shipments to the branch during the year were made at a markup of 20% based on costs. The balance of the allowance for overvaluation account was 21,300 at the beginning. So 21,300 is the markup on the shipments made by the home office to the branch last year. And the allowance was written down to 14,700 at year end. So 14,700 is the required balance of the allowance. It is the amount of the allowance must be adjusted to, must be decreased downward to. On December 10, third bullet, the home office purchased an equipment amounting to 36,000 for the Ortigas branch with 5 years life. It will be used and will be carried in the books of the branch. But the home office recorded the said purchase by debiting equipment. So the should be entry of the home office was of course credit cash, and debit investment in branch. The fact the branch will use and will maintain also the records of the said equipment. Obviously the said 36,000 did not appear under the T account of investment in branch, so it is a reconciling item. So the investment in branch must be increased by 36,000. Then the fourth bullet is about the depreciation of the said equipment used by the branch. The branch debited home office current instead of debiting depreciation expense. So the home office current was decreased, was debited by the depreciation amount, which is 36,000 divided by 5 years, divided by 12 months. So the depreciation for the month is only 600. So the home office current was debited at 600, was decreased by 600, but dapat hindi. So the home office current must be increased by 600, and the net income of Ortigas branch amounting to 197,730, an unadjusted amount must be decreased by the depreciation amounting to 600. fourth bullet, the branch recorded, of course, the fifth bullet, the debit memo regarding the allocation of the 2,880 to the Ortigas branch was received by the branch the following year. So another item affecting the net income of the branch from unadjusted to make it adjusted. So other than the 600 depreciation expense, 2,880 must also be deducted from the unadjusted net income of the branch, making it from 197,730 minus depreciation expense of 600 and minus the expenses allocated by the home office to the branch, minus 2,880. So the adjusted but understated net income of the branch is 194,250. On the other hand, the home office current in the books of the branch is also understated by 2,880. Okay. Second to the last bullet is about the remittance of the branch to the home office amounting to 33,000, which the home office received and recorded the following year. So the correct entry of the home office is debit cash 33,000 and credit investment in branch. So because of the recording is already prepared the following year, so the investment in branch account of the home office is overstated by 33,000. Okay. So I hope by this time may sagot na kayo, provided, and of course with solutions provided by the other classes 5A and 5C. So I just discussed the nature of the question. So the first question is about the adjusted balance of the branch current account before closing entries were made. So the answer provided to you, the logic behind that answer is that all the transactions that must enter the investment branch account dapat nandun na, except for the net income of the branch, because yung sabi, before the necessary closing entries were made. So everything dapat part na siya ng investment in branch except the net income of the branch, which will result only after the preparation of the closing entries by the branch. The second question is compute the amount of adjustment in the allowance for overvaluation. So the logic of that question is that the answer to that question is about the realized markup. So the allowance for overvaluation must be adjusted by, must be decreased by, I think the answer is 42,000. So the amount of 42,000 is the amount which understated the net income of the branch, which overstated the CGS of the branch. It is the realized markup. It is the amount, the allowance for overvaluation must be decreased by, so that from being before adjustment, papunta tayo sa after adjustment, which is 14,700. So I think the allowance for overvaluation before adjustment is 56,700, letter A. The after adjustment is letter C, 14,700. So therefore the adjustment is letter D. That's the answer, 42,000. The third question is compute the net income of Ortigas branch that will be reported in the combined income statement. So the question is similar to true income of the branch, or the income of the branch as far as the home office is concerned. So from unadjusted 197,730 to adjusted 194,250. So plus 42,000 to make it true income, letter A, 236,250. The last question is about compute the amount of the home office current account that will be reported in the books of the Ortigas branch after closing entries are made. So from the first question, before closing, so sa last question after closing, simply add the net income of the branch, which is adjusted but understated. So as far as the reciprocal accounts are concerned, the net income of the branch which will enter the reciprocal account is the net income of the branch adjusted but understated. So the true income of the branch will enter the retained earnings of the home office for combined or published FS purposes. But again, to emphasize the last question, it is the adjusted income of the branch only, but understated, which will enter the reciprocal accounts. That's it for the last problem, home office and branch. See you again for the next discussion. Thank you.